say that maybe the third time is a charm. This is my third time trying to do this video, which lets me know that it is someone that needs this information. It is a plethora of people that need this information. The title today, the subject today is publishing. Um, Five quick and easy ways to publish and make money. Now, in order for me to say that, and let me just go back. For those of you that's new here, my name is LaNette Kincaid, the author and also writing coach. I am the word pusher. I push authors to write, publish, and sell with the key emphasis on selling your words. I am passionate about your story getting out to the masses, okay? So, one of the things that I want to share is the world that we live in has become prone to always looking for that shortcut, right? We got to have a shortcut. People don't want to write anymore. Let's just go and put that out there. People don't want to write anymore. We want a shortcut to every single thing that we do, right? We want a shortcut to cooking. We want a shortcut for everything, right? But one of the things that I want to share with you when it comes to the publishing industry is yes, it is a shortcut to writing. It is a shortcut to publishing. However, it's one thing that you can't do the shortcut on, and that is creating an audience that's really going to care about you, about what you're talking about your book, about, when you're publishing and things of that nature. People are super, super quick on creating books, creating products, but none of that matters if you don't have people that's going to rally around you when you're creating those products, right? So I wanted to create this because it's a lot of you that have the audience already. And when we're talking about creating an audience, y'all, one of the reasons that I am super, super, super big on, going live just like this, right? Going live, making videos, taking the baby steps to create your audience and getting people engaged and involved with what you're talking about, because in a lot of cases people want to create. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. I didn't even give you the disclaimer. As you guys are coming in, chiming in, make sure that you're speaking to me, saying hello. In addition to that, feel free to join my YouTube channel. Okay, so one of the things that I was talking about is creating your audience. It's no easy, quick step to create your audience. The one thing that I would say is a lot of people have attempted to purchase an audience. And the one thing that I will say, you can always purchase an audience, right? Online, you can purchase an audience. But the one thing is, when you purchase an audience on your Facebook page, purchase an audience on your Instagram page, it's only going to be one thing that happens, baby. Those people are going to come, but they're not going to comment. And if they're commenting, a lot of times they're going to be trolls. Why? Because you paid for them to be there, right? And so when you pay people to be there, they have the right to say whatever they want. So we are talking about growing an organic audience, okay? Growing an organic audience. And we'll talk about that some other time. But for these steps that I'm talking about now, 5 quick and easy ways to publish, that's what I'm sticking to today, okay? I know sometimes my mind goes on another topic, but I am talking about 5 quick and easy ways to publish your message and make money from it. Because you don't want to just continue to do something and you don't see any fruits of your labor, okay? And money is not the be all, but the main thing is I want to share with you that as you're posting, you're no longer posting for you. A lot of you think you're posting for yourself. You're like, I like it, so that's all that matters. But you're not posting for you, baby. You're posting your message for the masses. You're wanting to get your message out there to the masses, okay? So one of the things that I want to share with you about these steps that I'm about to share with you about creating your audience and things of that nature, you're either going to, one, have an audience already, or you're going to use other people's audience, okay? And how do you do that? You go to vending shows, okay? If you don't have an audience already for your product, then you show up to vending shows, okay? And vending shows, I need to share this before I move on. I absolutely love showing people how to create their station when they go to vending shows, because a lot of times people, especially authors, when you are taking your products to like a vending section, you like, okay, I paid to be here, I got my books here. You throw your books on the table and that's it. You're just expecting for people to show up, and that's not necessarily the case, because people are visual people, okay? So at some point I'm going to share with you guys how to actually set up your table as a person that have nothing but books, okay? Because you can make that table look amazing, blazing. All right, so 5 quick ways to publish and make money. Y'all ready? Y'all got your pens ready? Okay, take notes, because I promise you this is going to bless you. It's going to help you, okay? And for those of you that's chiming in, again, my name is LaNette Kincaid, the author and also writing coach, okay? And this is a passion of mine, which is why I like talking about it. So this is not just about money. I've said that already. This is not just about money. This is about, you wrote a book, now you're the expert, okay? You are the expert. So how do you make yourself the expert? Basically what you're doing on all these different platforms is creating real estate. That's it. Just think of it as real estate. So when you're going to Facebook, that's real estate. Instagram, real estate. TikTok, real estate. LinkedIn, real estate. And you guys should be on LinkedIn if you're not. Can I say that again? You guys should be on LinkedIn if you're not, okay? You'll be surprised the amazing, blazing people that's right there over on LinkedIn, and they're the decision makers. And, you know, how cool would it be for you to be the expert of your book? And now you have the CEO saying, well, hey, you know, we really need to be trained on what you're talking about. Don't sleep on LinkedIn, okay? So this is not all about money. This is about your expertise. You're now the author of your book. You're the expertise. And for those of you that don't have a book yet, you're the people that I'm talking to, okay? You're the people that I'm talking to. So how do you create a book? How do you create your message? How do you publish your message? So the first thing is, 1, create an ebook. Okay, so for these 2 things that I'm sharing with you, number 1 and number 2, you're gonna need to get yourself acquainted to Canva or Adobe Express, Adobe Illustrations. Get yourself acquainted with those 3 things, because when I say, hey, you're going to need to create an ebook, that's your first way of publishing. You're going to need to be able to design your own book cover, or use places like Fiverr, or get somebody else to make it for you, okay? Don't stress over the small stuff. Just keep in mind the big picture is publishing your message, okay? And that's what we're worried about right now. We'll come up with all the designs and everything like that later. But the first thing is, you're able to create an ebook on Canva, right? They already have the template ready for you. You just put your expertise, match your expertise with Canva's template, and then you create an ebook that people can download from your website, okay? Now, excuse me. I know a lot of you, as I'm saying, you know, have people to download it from the website. Then you're like, oh crap, LaNette, I don't have a website. I got you, okay? I got you. All right, so for those of you that do not have a website, then you would use platforms like Gumroad, okay? Gumroad is a platform where you can upload your ebook into their platform, and people can download your platform from there, okay? And you create the price for it, okay? So if you have a website, use your website and have people to download directly from your website. And it's an ebook, okay? It's not published through the major publishing. However, you can do that directly through your website, okay? Don't have a website, use platforms like Gumroad and things of that nature in order to create your way for people to download. The whole point that of what I'm wanting you guys to understand is you're the expert. You're the expert with a message, okay? It's just like if you can just imagine the person that created toilet paper, okay? And there was a need for toilet paper. So, of course, this person that created toilet paper, they could have charged $100. And back then, somebody would have bought it. Why? Because there is a need. When you think of what you have as a need, then you'll stop relaxing on what you got to say. Okay? When you think of it as, oh my God, like somebody really needs this information, then baby, you'll start making sure that you're pumping out this information. And why? Because people need this information. People need this information. Okay. So, one, download it from your website. Two, use websites like Gumroad. Okay. Keep in mind that just because it's an ebook, it doesn't mean that it shouldn't be edited. Just because it's an ebook, it doesn't mean that it shouldn't have a slamming, jamming book cover. Okay. And because it's not an actual print side of your book, that means that you have more time to really perfect this thing. Okay. Don't spend a lot of time on it, because remember, the information is relevant. But what a lot of people don't realize is sometimes information is time sensitive. Okay. If you have an idea today, you need to get that idea out this week. Like, get it out. Okay. Remember, you're the expert, especially if you're talking about something over and over and over again, and people are like, well, how do you do this? And what about this? And what about that? If you have people questioning you about something, honey, get that information out. That means it's timely. Okay. It's timely. A lot of times, for those of you that have books, a lot of times you're trying to serve somebody the whole book and they just want a sample of the book. Okay, so be ready to slice up your book based on the topics. Okay, a lot of you have to remember that people are they very smart individuals, right? But they don't know exactly what they need until they need it, right? And so that's the reason why I love working with people, because sometimes they don't know that they need to just give out like a chapter of their book or maybe an excerpt of their book. Okay. Number 3. Now this part you're really going to love me for. Okay. This is the easiest way to publish your book and your ideas and your thoughts. They have this thing on Amazon called Kindle Vella. And Kindle Vella, if you can remember, I hate to tell my age, but if you can remember watching soap operas back in the day where it was just drips every single day, they were just giving you little drips of the storyline, little drips of the storyline. Well, Kindle Vella basically allows you to continue to give episodes and give series, little baby series of what you're talking about. Okay. So Kindle Vella, write that down. Kindle Vella is a way that you can give your small ideas in a storyline to Amazon, and they will pay for episodes. So people pay for different episodes. Okay. So keep that part in mind. For those of you that's trying to do the big picture of publishing, sometimes you scale it down and give people little drips of what you're thinking. Okay. Keep in mind that it does require you to sometimes promote your ideas and, continue to draw up but it's an amazing way to grow your audience. It's an amazing way to pull yourself out there. I'm moving, y'all, because my leg has fallen asleep. All right. So Kindle Vella, here's something else that I want y'all to understand. Oh, excuse me. Let's go back to the newsletters, can we? So when we're talking about the newsletters, a lot of you are already writing newsletters. You're already doing it, right? The only difference is you're writing a newsletter and you don't really have an audience. You don't really have an audience. Okay. So that's why if you're going to vending shows and you're getting, like business cards from people, that should immediately go into your email list. Can I say that again? If you're going out to networking events, if you're going out, excuse me, if you're going out to networking events, if you're going out to vending shows, you should automatically be getting business cards. Okay. Once you get those business cards emails should go up into your e-blast. Okay. A lot of you are overworking and you shouldn't work yourself that hard, baby. You're already doing the work already. Okay. So all it takes is for you to just slow down and think a little bit and organize. Get yourself organized. Okay. Some of you are probably all over the place. You're trying to raise a family, you're trying to work, you're trying to be an entrepreneur, you're, an author, you're an amazing writer, but you just don't know how to organize this stuff. Okay. And that's what I'm here for. All right. So start uploading those emails. In addition to that, as you're posting on social media, just simply ask people to join your email list. Okay. Now, here's the coolest part about joining LinkedIn. Remember when I was telling you guys about LinkedIn? On LinkedIn, they have a place where you can create newsletters. So if you're creating a newsletter, through your site, either by MailChimp or ConvertKit, which ConvertKit is my favorite, but hey, you do you. But if you're using those sites and you realize that you're not having a high engagement rate, or you're not having a high opening rate, like you have, let's say, for example, I'm going to start on the low end. Let's say, for example, you have about you have a email list and it's less than 20 people there. Y'all, don't be ashamed to start somewhere. It's okay. I'm here for you. Okay. If you haven't started your email list, start it today and start asking people, hey, join my email list. Join my email list. Like literally, after you create about 3 or 4 posts on Facebook, then you need to continue to invite people on your email list. Keep in mind that Facebook doesn't belong to us. Instagram doesn't belong to us. TikTok didn't belong to us. Remember, they've been threatening to take TikTok away since the beginning of the year, right? So none of those platforms belong to us. So if you have 5,000 followers on Facebook right now, 500 followers on Facebook, baby, start chipping away at those people and try to get them to your email list, okay? So if Facebook shuts down, Instagram shuts down, who still have their followers? Me and you, okay? All right, that's a little tip. So the other thing that I was saying is, if you share your newsletter and no one's engaging and no one's, reading it, they don't even open it, but you're constantly sending it out. At some point, you need to clean your email list, okay? Because you've gotten a lot of people on there, they've gotten comfortable with your e-blast and they're not reading it. They don't want the information anymore. It's okay to send out an email saying, hey, are you still wanting to be here? Send out a massive email to say, hey, would you still like to be on my email list? I'd love to have you here, but I understand needs change, interests change, and it's okay for us to move on, right? The other thing is, LinkedIn has a way where you can publish your newsletter right there on LinkedIn. Okay, with all the business decision makers. They are the decision makers. So you want your information out there to the masses. Guys, you didn't write a book just to put it on the shelf. It's not a trophy just because you wrote a book. Now the information needs to get out to the masses, okay? Your ideas need to get out to the masses. Your expertise needs to get out to the masses, okay? So we're no longer hiding this information. We're going to publish and we're going to make money. The money is just a bonus. Ultimately, if I can talk to the right people that's giving me opportunity, that's what I really want, right? So the money on the back end is just a bonus. Let me just go and put that out there, okay? So we talked about Kindle Vella. The fourth thing, which is I think it's almost the most important thing, but correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. So the one thing that I can share is share your expertise once a week, every single day. And you're doing that on what? A podcast. Okay, you create your own podcast. It's not as hard as you guys think it is. Okay, You're creating your own podcast. And you're going to do that to read excerpts of your book if you already have a book. Or if you're working towards a book, then you're going to be sharing those ideas. Okay. That way, when you publish, bada bing, you already have an audience. Okay. You'll have your podcast audience, you'll have your newsletter audience. Okay. Now, how do you make money from a podcast? You make money from a podcast with sponsorship. Because let me tell you who don't mind ponying up the money. The people that love your podcast and they realize that, it's about to go away. Okay. So to keep your podcast from going away, that's why sponsorships. Okay. You're making money from you publishing your podcast, and they're going to in turn be your sponsor. Okay. I done it when I had my podcast. By the way, my podcast is coming back. Bigger Than Books podcast is coming back. Okay. It used to be writing. What was it? When the Ink Dries, which I thought was very amazing, right? But it was already trademarked. So I had to scratch that and start all over. This is not about me. This is about you. Okay. But I just wanted to share that. Bigger Than Books podcast is coming back. So stay tuned for that. All right. The other thing is we talked about newsletters already, but your newsletters, here's one of the things that I want you guys to understand. If you wrote your book, you can now write someone else's book, someone that they get disgusted by thinking about writing a book. They get disgusted thinking about writing their own newsletter. They get disgusted thinking about writing their own ebook, right? And that's where you come in at, okay? When I am talking to you guys, I want you to understand that writing is key. If you can write your own fiction book, you can write a script, okay? So I want you guys to think of, while you're thinking of writing your book, I want you to think of the big picture. Think of the big picture. As you're posting, I know you guys have probably already posted about 3 or 4 times today, but as you go back to posting after this video, I want you to go there now with a new mindset. I don't want you to go there with the same mindset of, oh my God, I am going to, continue to post. Guys, I want you to post and look at your analytics. If you're posting something and no one is gravitating to what you're posting, guys, go down your analytics and think about what actually worked. Sometimes it's just simple, go back to the basics. Go back to the basics of what you're posting and go back to what people liked. But a lot of times we're so used to being like a robot, being like so mechanical, that we don't see the needs of the people who really need us. Okay. You're not selling a book because, oh my God, it just feels good to sell a book. You're selling a book because your words in that book is going to change someone's life. The message that you have behind the book, the testimony that you have behind the book, that's what people need. Okay. So you're saving lives by spreading this message about your book, whether it's fiction or nonfiction. You are creating the path that's going to help someone, that's going to save someone's life. And I wrote about, recently I've done a review on Cupcake Brown's book. I don't know if you guys have read it, but it's called A Piece of Cake. If you haven't read A Piece of Cake, I always try to tell you guys about book reviews and things of that nature. But A Piece of Cake by Cupcake Brown, I done a review about it, and oh my God, it was a person that wrote, hey, this book changed my life. Thank you so much for sharing your take on it. And she put her take on it. And oh my God, don't you want, literally she said, she had been on drugs and then she got off drugs, and she think that this book played a part in her getting off drugs. Don't you want those type of testimonies? A lot of us have books and we don't care whether we get reviews for the book. We don't care if, people even read the book. Seriously, y'all, we have to get out of this this like trophy mentality, like, oh my God, I wrote 13 books. What difference does it make if less than 20 people have read it, right? So we got to get out of that trophy mentality and understand that, baby, somebody really needs your book. Like, it's 911, it's an emergency. Okay. So, yeah, let's go back to your Facebook pages, your social media pages, and I want you guys to look at it from a different mentality. Yes, you're sharing the information about your book, but you're also sharing a message. So go into detail. It's okay. And something that I've realized lately, so when I first started on Facebook, and it was probably like a year after it started, right? Everything was short and sweet and to the point. If you shared pictures, it was okay for you to share pictures of what you were selling. People would buy it and keep it moving. No explanation was needed. After COVID, however, people, or even if the book is $2, they want to know why they need to share that $2, why they need to waste that $2. What is that $2 going to do for them, right? People love information now. That's what your book is for. So if you have a book that you have that's a nonfiction book, consider splitting that book up. And when I say split the book up, think about creating courses from your book. Think about, creating classes from your book. Think about, instead of trying to market the book in whole to the news media and the news outlet, consider an amazing chapter out of the book, right? A lot of times we don't understand the mindset of the economy that we're in right now. It was a time where people would take and sit and listen to all of the information about your book. But now people are like, what is your book about? Oh, okay. All right. Like literally, okay. Even if someone asks you, what are you having for dinner? If it's over 30 seconds, honey, they could care less. Okay. You could eat grass. They don't care. Okay. People's mindset and their attention span has shortened. Okay. So you have to go with the punches of how the economy is going, especially as an author. But one of the things I want you guys to just literally flush out of your mind is that people don't need your book. That's the lie. People don't need the information that you're giving out. Okay. That's a lie. It is a certain group for every single book. Okay. I think, I don't know if you guys have been watching my journey, but I work out like 3 times a week. I'm trying to work myself up to 4. Pray for me. Okay. But as I'm going into the gym every single day, this young lady sits at a table. And when I say young, she's probably a little bit older than I am. However, when I go into the gym, she's sitting there and she's reading her book. I get through with my workout, which is an hour, and guess what? She's still sitting there reading her book. And I'll sit there because obviously I'm tired. And I'll be like, well, what are you reading this week? And what do you know? And she'll tell me, hey, I'm reading this book. And oh my God, it's an amazing book. And me and my friend are reading it. Like every single week, this young lady is reading a different type of book. I say all of that to say that your audience is already out there, baby. It's just you. They're waiting on you. You have to let them know that you exist. In a world that we live in, if you're not going to vending shows, you're not going to networking events, you're not telling the people at work about your book, no one knows about you. Okay? So it's very important that you continue to tell people about you and tell people about your book. Oh my goodness, I've stayed on here for 30 minutes. That's a long time. Anyway, for those of you that's new here, my name is LaNette Kincaid, the author and also a writing coach. And I wrote a book. I reshared it this week. I wrote a book called Letters to Mom. It was a book that I wrote when my mother passed away. I wanted people to know exactly how I was feeling losing a mom as an adult, right? And this book really speaks to the little girl in me, because losing a mom at an adult age where it was nothing else left for her to do, but this the thoughts in this book basically came from a little girl, the little girl inside of me wanting my mom again. And so my mom's birthday was this month, and I decided to brush off the dust of my own book and start talking about it again. So, Letters to Mom, it is on my website, Letters to Mom, at writingcoachlk.com, writingcoachlk.com. So, for those of you that need help with writing your book or selling your book, I'm your girl. Make sure that you reach out to me to set up a consultation at writingcoachlk.com. Share this video, subscribe to this video, comment on this video. I love you guys. Bye-bye.